Okay, so about a year ago, I heard about this idea from Kevin Smith on a local radio station in Los Angeles, and I couldn't help but be very interested by this story. That it seemed like, I don't know where he heard it from or if he came up with it in his own mind, but it was the first time I ever heard about this movie that Kevin Smith was going to make, that was going to come out about a year ago, and that is now. And the film that he was talking about, of course, is called Tusk. It is the brand new horror comedy directed by one of my favorite filmmakers and writers of all time. And I know him himself has said before that he is not a great director, but maybe after this, he might be able to be considered a great director. If you know about this story already, then you know about the story. I'll try and explain it to just a little bit without giving away too much. I'm going to try to not give away anything at all. So Kevin Smith, of course, is a writer, director, and probably a really amazing comedian in his own right. I've seen some of his speeches where he goes out and talks to college kids, and it's just hilarious. He's a funny guy. He's a great storyteller, but he's also a podcaster now, and he has his own podcast. So he centers his story around a guy that is a podcaster, and he likes to collect stories. He's played by Justin Long, and he works with, seems like his best friend in the world, played by Haley Joel Osment, the great actor. We haven't seen him for a while. It's really great to see him come back. And he of course, you know, he was an Oscar-nominated actor from The Sixth Sense. His girlfriend in the movie, Justin Long's girlfriend in the movie, is played by Genesis Rodriguez, very beautiful. But the major star of this movie, and someone I believe, man, that he should be nominated for an Academy Award. The great actor doesn't get the justice and respect that he deserves, Michael Parks. Now, he's been in some films like From Dusk Till Dawn and Kill Bill and some other things. He might have been in some other things from Quentin Tarantino, but I know that he's also one of the stars of Kevin Smith's last movie that I really, really enjoyed called Red State. And with Red State and now Tusk, Kevin Smith has kind of stepped out of that, you know, that comedy, dirty comedies that he's known for making, and has kind of done something even smarter and proven to me that he is a fabulous director, a great director. And this is a horror film, and I believe this is the first time Kevin Smith has made a horror movie. I know I've gotten on track, and I know that the story is centered around a podcaster goes to Canada. He's an American podcaster, goes to Canada, and he pretty much gets in way over his head. That includes Michael Parks. Now, if you've seen the trailer, you kind of have an idea what this is. Of course, the title suggests something more. But I don't really want to give anything away, because what we got in this movie is something beyond my imagination. Something I've never, ever seen before. And I guess I'm not the biggest horror junkie, so maybe horror fans might have seen stories like this before. I'm kind of reminded by a film called The Human Centipede, but with The Human Centipede, there was no personality. What's so great about this movie is it's hilarious. It's very funny. And Kevin Smith does a great job of giving you that kind of eerie, disgusting, shocking feel, but does it with a smile. And I just absolutely loved him for that. This movie has such amazing scenes of really drawn out scenes that get to breathe and shine when the tension rises. I almost felt like Kevin Smith was kind of doing a horror film in the way that Quentin Tarantino might do a horror film, because the dialogue just gets to sit and breathe, and the tension just gets higher and rises, and you really don't know where this movie is going to go, especially with the reveal, which happens pretty soon in the movie. And every time this reveal kind of happens over and over and over again through the eyes of certain people in the film, it was just as shocking as it was the first time. I'm going to literally have nightmares about this movie, and I'm so thankful for that. I can't wait to go to sleep tonight and just dream about this whole idea. This has got to be, in my opinion, one of the most original horror comedies ever made. And I am so in love with this film and thankful for it. I mean, every time a horror movie comes out, especially on the big screen, maybe in smaller screens or through some sort of streaming site with slower, we might get some sort of a horror movie like this to take chances. But on the big screen, I see lots of movies during the year, And when it comes to horror films, we get the same old stuff every time. And I'm so frustrated with it. So it's nice when something can come along and take elements that are great about the horror genre and twist it around and make it feel so unique and so special and so memorable. This is a film that I just want to just find out what the hell, who came up with this. I mean, the movie does say that it's based on actual events, and I have no idea what that really means. If it's based on an idea that Kevin Smith had while he was doing a podcast, or he heard about this idea and decided to turn it into a movie, maybe that's the case. But it just proves to me that Kevin Smith is not just a one-note kind of guy. He's not some guy that can just create really great comedies after great comedies, but he can try and do something different, step out of his bounds, and make really some interesting films like Red State and this movie called Tusk. There are elements also in the film that include a certain person that is very famous, that doesn't really acknowledge that this person is actually in the movie, and I really appreciate that, because that was a great element of the film, and that person does have an important part of this movie, and I don't want to spoil it. Please, if you've seen this movie, please don't spoil this to anybody, especially people who want to go see this film. There's just so much I just love and appreciate this film, and I think some people might be upset with the way the film ends. I've actually got a chance to think about it and mull it over, and I absolutely love it. It's completely terrifying to me, and that's what's lacking about horror films today. Horror films that make you think, show you something you haven't seen before, terrify you, shock you, amaze you, and at the same time make you laugh. And Kevin Smith has done all of that in an almost perfect way. There might be some issues that I might have from this film years now, but I think this film is going to be a classic comedy horror film in the near future. Some people might not agree with that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. This might not be your cup of tea, but if you like movies that really shock you, show you something you haven't seen before, and at the same time make you laugh, I just love that this film just lingers with me right now. It's engulfed my soul, and it's something that I hope to never forget, at least for weeks. I really want this movie to just stick around for weeks. I really appreciate it. I think a good movie sticks around and just eats you up, and hopefully in a good way. And this movie just ate me up in a good way. And there's just ideas, and I do want to talk again about Michael Parks really quick. He is a fabulous actor who doesn't get the credit he deserves. This film hopefully will show people who he is, and that he deserves the respect that he doesn't get, and it would be great. I mean, this film also should be nominated for Best Makeup. The makeup in here is tremendous, but I would love to see the makeup be nominated for an Oscar, and of course Michael Parks to be nominated for an Oscar, because they really deserve it. This is a great film. It's well written. It's well acted by everybody that's in the film, especially that hidden person that doesn't really acknowledge in any kind of trailers, or hopefully just don't go online and find out who it is. Please don't. It's such a great surprise, and adds so much more to the film. And I guess it was also nice to see Kevin Smith's wife in the film. She makes a cameo. Again, this has got to be one of the most terrifying films I've ever seen. I'm trying not to hype it up. I apologize if I hyped it up for you. This is just my opinion. If it didn't work for you, it's perfectly okay. But for me, it's one of the most terrifying, shocking, and disturbing, and most funniest comedy horror films I have seen in a very long time. And for that, I'm going to give Tusk. I'm going to give this film a solid 4 stars out of 4. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, and I'll find out near the end of the year where I place it in my top 20 of 2014. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook, and please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. Also go to Long Beach Acting and Film Association right here on Facebook and Twitter. Please also go to MoviePile.com, and if you've enjoyed this movie review, please click right here, subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Have a great day, a wonderful night, and a wonderful life, and I wish you all the happiness in the world. Peace be with you, and I'll tell you right now, I will never look at the animal of the walrus animal. I will never look at that creature in the same way ever again. Thank you so much for watching. Peace be with you, my friends. Bye!